Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely Sunday. Beautiful birds are out there singing. The sky for me is nice and blue, but we're here going to do a little bit of math. All right, so I was on earlier for the ASVAB piece of the deep dive. Of course, I'm going to have to figure out a little bit more. Hopefully you guys loved that. So now we're actually going to kind of leave off where I started last time. So we are looking at, for those that are taking like college algebra, and I'm really going to hit hard on slope. So yes, Erica, we are back. Just had a quick little moment and we got right back onto the live. So today, right now, this focus is going to be for slope and slope only. So we're just going to be hitting on the basic concept of it. We're going to look at it algebraically as well as graphically. And we might be able to, depending on how time goes, we might be able to hit it on the numerical front. So when we're looking at slopes, so the first one, find the slope of the line that contains -2, -2, and -10, -9. So anytime they give us 2 points, we should be thinking of our definition of slope. So we know that M is representation of slope, and we know that slope is basically the change of y's over the change of x's. So the reason why I just leave it as a change of y over change of x's is basically your difference, and it all depends on how you want to view it. I know the traditional way of viewing it, I'm going to put that in blue, is usually your y sub 2 minus your y sub 1 over your x sub 2 minus your x sub 1. But this is what happens. You do it okay for the y's, but then you screw it up for the x's. And that's what's killing you guys. So I just figured, well, shoot. Here we read from left to right. So why can't we just have y sub 1 minus y sub 2 and x sub 1 minus x sub 2? Okay. Will that give us the same answer? And the answer is yes. You know, a lot of people don't preach it, but we'll see. So since we read, this is the first point that we came across. So this is our x1 and our y1. This is our x2 and our y2, because the 2's is representing the second point, the 1's is representing the first point. Now, does it really matter which one's the first and the second point? No. You're going to get the same answer. But you have to define which one's the first and which one's the second. Use overbridge, underbridge. Don't know what that is. But hey, if that works for you, do it. Okay, so I'm getting D's, I'm getting B's, I'm getting C's. So let's see. All right. So at least we all know it's not A's. So I'm glad we got that down. All right, so I'm saying it's D, and I'm getting a B. Okay, and I know exactly why we're getting a mixture of answers. All right, so let's take a look. So we have our first point. So if we did the traditional way, the difference of our y's, so we have a -9 minus a -2. I know a lot of people just did -9 minus 2 and you got a -7. No, you're only replacing the -2 for the y sub 1 over my x sub 2, so we have -10 minus my -2. So when I do this, this is actually giving me a minus, a negative. They actually turn positive. I'm sorry, I was thinking -11. That's what I was thinking. So -9 plus 2, that does give us my -7. Not 11, not negative 11. Then when you do a minus a negative down here, they also turn positive. So negative 10 plus 2, that will give us a negative 8. Now, a negative divided by a negative will give us our positive. So if you want, let me take it to the green part. My y1, if I did it with negative 2 minus a negative 9, and then we had negative 2 minus a negative 10. Every time I substitute negatives into an equation, I always put parentheses around it. Because when I minus a negative, it turns positive. So that will be a 7. Okay, if I minus a negative 10, that makes it a positive 10. So you owed me $2, you gave me $10. Hey, that means you gave me $8 extra. You get the same slope regardless of what you do. Okay, all right. Okay. So you always do the difference of your y's over the difference of your x's. It doesn't matter which way you go, but you have to stick to that pattern. All right, you have to stick to that pattern. So let's go to the next one. So now we're looking at slope graphically. Okay? Just by looking at the line itself. Okay, just looking at the line itself. Which answer choices should I eliminate? Okay, just looking at the line itself. What answer choices should I eliminate? Okay, so we're saying A, we're saying C and D, one saying A and C, one saying A and B, we're saying C, the positive slopes, thank you, Robert. Okay, negative, Jordan squared. So we say C and D, A and C, A and B, C and D, A and C, A and B because it's going down, A, B, D, negative, A, C, okay? Okay, A, B, the positive slopes. All right, so when we take a look at it from left to right, this graph is going down. So that means my slope is actually going to be a negative slope. So anything that's giving me a positive slope, that will be my A and my B. We're eliminating those two choices. Okay, so now it's either a negative 2 or it's a negative 1/2. Now, if I want, all I have to do is go from one point to the next. Let me really zoom in so you can see the points now. So I can start at this point and say I want to go to this point. When it comes to slope, it's almost like you're giving someone direction, right? So say that this is your house and you want to go to your friend's house. So what do? In order for me to go, I have to go down one city block, and then I'm going to go right 2 city blocks. All right? So by me going down, because remember, it's always your rise. I'm going to move this over in a second. It's always your rise over your run. Sometimes your rise, you're going to go up when it's positive, go down when it's negative. For the run, you go to the right when it's positive and to the left when it's negative. Now, I go down 1 block, so that's a negative 1. Then I go over 1, 2 to the right, and it's going to be a positive 2. So my slope is actually going to be negative 1/2. All right. Questions on that? Good. Right. So just by looking at it, one, just take a moment, especially graphically. Just by graphically, I'm trying to unshrink it a little bit. There we go. All right, so going downward from left to right, that means it's a negative slope. So right away, I can get rid of my A and my B. So then I'm actually going to do it. If I want, I could have gone up 1, so that'll make it a positive 1. But then I'm going to go to the left 2, so it'll make it into a negative 2. This is still a negative slope. Okay, when you have a negative slope, only one of the two has to be negative, either the numerator or the denominator. Okay. Yep. It could be. It could be 7th grade. It's basically algebra. Okay, it's basically algebra. Not. All right. Zoop. All right, so find my slope. Oh yeah, it never goes away. It never goes away. Okay, way to correct yourself, Gojo. Okay, mistake. All right, so we have our negative 2/3, negative 2/3, negative 2/3. Okay, careful. Remember you made it. So Andrew is saying C. Filipina saying negative 2/3. Trini saying C. So we have negative 2/3. Good. All right. So all we're doing, one, looking at my slope from left to right, it's going down. So immediately A and B is out. So now I need to figure out, is my rise 2 or is my rise 3? So I can start at either point. I'm going to start at this one. So for me to go from this point to this point, I need to go down 1, 2. If I know that I was going down 2, I immediately see that this is my answer. Okay? You don't have to finish things. If you're looking at, so this is usually for exams for GED, ASVAB, acuplacer, all that. But if you're currently a student in a classroom, you have to show your work. Okay, you have to show your work if you're currently in the classroom. Let me just clarify that, because usually I'm doing this just for adults. All right, let's go with this one. Find my slope. There you go. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm seeing some C's. Danielle, Jasmine, Philippi. Okay, Matilda, C. J-Dub, C. Okay, Ty, C. Texas, 2. So 2 is C. Good. Bill, C. Frederick, C. Oh, Shell, sorry, B. Lady Mare, B. Daly, Lay, C. And C. Z, C. DJ, C. Trini, C. Minnie, 2, which was C. Rise or run C with the Freddy, yes. Okay, eliminate A and B, J-Dub, good. Stan, B. All right, and then we have rest of C's. Officer, C. Day, C. Find the D point, C. All right. Now, let's take a look. From left to right, this graph is increasing. So that means my slope is also going to be positive. So when I look at my answer choices, it's not A, okay? A 0 slope is going to be straight left to right. and it only goes through the y-axis. B is negative, so that one's out. So now I can kind of tell, because based on the steepness, it seems a little steeper. But if I want to go from one point to the next. Sometimes you might find a point in between. So I can go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So my rise is 4, a positive 4. And then my run, 1, 2, is a positive 2. 4 over 2 can be simplified just by dividing, which gives you an answer of 2. Now, as I was counting, I noticed there's another point I could have stopped at. I could have gone up 1, 2, and over 1. Okay. Okay, then go up 1, 2, and over 1. And it gives me that other point. All right. Okay, y equals mx plus b. That'll be the equation. So that includes your y-intercept. Okay, so right now we're just doing the slope. Yep. When you do it graphically, that's all you're doing. It's your movement from one point to another. And it's always going to give you a right triangle. Okay, it's always going to give you a nice right triangle. All right. Oops. Okay. Find my slope. So it's just algebra, because I can't go by grade levels, because I also have a 6th grader that's in algebra. So it could be 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade. But this one is just finding the slope, so it's the earlier years. Okay, so I'm seeing some B's. I see a D, a couple B's and D's. All right, so there's a battle between B and D. Okay. All right, B is starting to close in. All right, oh, Broker did it. All right, it's now neck and neck. Okay, Harley's giving me a B. Oh, Matilda said a D. And we got, now we got B's, we got some D's, now we got a couple more B's. All right, so at least we know we got B's and D's. Okay, we got some kind of B's and D's type of battle. You're changing? Okay, so let's take a look. From left to right, my line is increasing. So we know that the slope is also going to be positive. So at least we all know that C and A is done. Okay, they're both negative. Now, let's do the walk from one point to the next. All right, so if I'm starting here, I'm going to go up 1, 2. So I went up 2. So that'll be a positive 2. Then I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the right 4, so it's a positive 4. So my rise is 2, and my run is 4. Okay. 2 over 4 can be reduced by 2. They're both even numbers. 2 divided by 2 will give me 1. And 4 divided by 2 will give me 2. So my slope is 1/2. Okay. All right. Yes, never change your answers. Go with the gut. Go with the gut. And if your gut's like, I'm going to take a look at it. Okay? So when you're looking at it graphically, that's all you have to do. You could, if you want, you could do the calculations that we did earlier. Our y sub 2, so if we wanted to, we could have gone -4 minus a -2 over 3 minus, I think that's a 7. I think that's a 7. Yep. All right. So then we have -4 minus a -2. When you minus a negative, it turns positive. So that will give us a -2. And then 3 minus 7, that will also give us a -4. And if I want to, the negative divided by negative will give me positive, and 2/4 can simplify to 1/2. So if you know the coordinates, you can also calculate it algebraically. Okay, so if you know the coordinates of those ordered pairs, boom, you can do it algebraically. You're going to get the same answer. But remember, if you're doing GED, ASVAB, Accuplacer, TEAS tests, IBEW tests, any of those standardized tests, it's all going to be timed. So by learning these little tips and tricks can help you. And that's what we've been doing most of the summer, is helping a lot of people pass their GEDs. And they've been trying for 3 or 4 times to increase their ASVAB scores, to increase their ASVAB scores. So now they're not at the minimum of 31. There were some people that raised it to the 50s. One person raised it at 71, and another person, I don't know what happened, but she raised it to 96. Hey, let's go. Okay? So, tips and tricks. All right. Yep. Because that's all you need to do. When you get with the graph, you can just simply count. So, tell whether the slope of the line is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Okay. Tell whether the slope is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Okay, it's all right. So we got a few C's, a few undefineds, got a few more C's, a few undefineds. We have an S. Okay. Can't even remember. That's okay. All right. I appreciate the question marks. I appreciate I can't remember. I think I do. But it seems like a lot of C's are here. Now we're getting a couple of D's. All right. Okay. Well, thank you. All right. So let's break this down. So at least we know that A and B is out. Majority of you guys are giving me C's and a couple of D's here and there. So let's clarify. The line that we're talking about is this one right here. Okay. I will try to draw it as straight as I possibly can. Now, when it is vertical like this, it's only going through the x-axis. Okay? And if we recall, when it comes to, I feel like all the x's are repeating. So that means if I pick this point here, I got 2, -4. Here, I got 2, -3, 2, -2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. All of my 2's are repeating. Okay? We can't have that. Okay? We cannot have our x's repeat. So that is a undefined slope. Anytime you have a line that is vertical and they ask you the slope, it's always going to be undefined because your x's are repeating. So it's almost like if we were talking about functions. And this is the one activity I always do. So we have everyone's name and we have your birthdays. Okay, so let's say we have like Sam, we have Kim, we have Matt. Okay, and let's say we have like 9/26, we have 10/4, and 7/1. And I'll put John in here. Why not? Let's just throw John in. Now, when it comes to birthdays, let's just be logical for a second. Is it possible for multiple people to have the same birthday? Put in the chat. Okay? Is it logical? Oh, is it? Oh, so is mine. Okay? Yes. Is it logical for more than one person to have the same birthday? Yes. Yes, it is. Right? But here's the thing. Can one person, and we're not doing this leap year stuff, can one person have multiple birthdays? No. Nope. Right? Mine's on the 27th. Okay? No. It's crazy. All right? And if so, you should be kissing your mother every blessed day and giving her gifts all the time. All right? So, when you think about it, think of the names and birthdays. Okay? One person can share a birthday with so many people. So that means I can say Sam and Kim are sharing the same birthday. Matt has this birthday. Okay, John has this birthday. But Sam can't have all three of these birthdays. No. Okay? It's gross. Right? No one wants that. No one would be giving birth. If humanity was stop, like that would be it. All right? So think of it that way. Like your exes cannot repeat. Okay? You don't want your exes to repeat. I don't want my exes to repeat either. Done with that. Okay? So when you think of it, when you have a vertical line, it's always going to be undefined. You can't have, one person cannot have multiple birthdays. All right? There you go. But see, everyone gets confused with the Y's get to repeat because they always think like one person can't date multiple people. That's true. But the Y's get to date multiple people. How fair is that? So I try not to use the dating thing because it just doesn't work out. All of a sudden the classroom turns into Maury Povich. Then we just all get cray. All right? Okay. Couple more, and then actually I'm going to skip over and I'm going to go right to this number 14. Let's see if we can get a little bit pulling information out from a word problem. So let's get it. So Thomas is a car salesman. The table shows the salary that Thomas earns for the number of cars he sells. Use the data to make a graph, then find the slope of the line and explain what it shows. All right, so I know it's going to be all kinds of crazy. Looking at the table, because if I try to do individual stuff, that's going to be crazy. All right, looking at the table. Look at it. Look at it. What do you notice? What do you notice? Okay, so broker is saying 600. Okay, saying it's increasing. You get $600 every car you sell. It's increasing. It starts at 200. It's increasing 600. Okay, everyone's saying that. I think there was one that I saw for increasing by 400. But then I'm saying $600 per car. Okay, good. Okay, so there we go. Switch it over. No problem. No problem. Good. So looking at it, for every car, your cars are increasing by 1. Then you look at the monthly salary earned. That is increasing by 600, sorry. So if you notice from 2,200 to 2,800, even if you crossed out the zeros to make them smaller in numbers, because there are some people, especially with dyscalculia, they always kind of like, wait, these numbers are too ginormous. So if they're all ending with zeros, let me see if I grab my handy dandy piece of paper. I can just cover it up like this and be able to see, all right, it's increasing by 6, but then add the 2 zeros. Okay, so sometimes you can see it like that. So you're looking for something that's going to increase by 600. So here, is it giving us that increase to 600? It's giving us the increase, but is it taking me to 600? Oops. Is it showing that increase? I know, it's kind of weird, right? Yes, that graph is wrong. Good. Nice. So it's not going to be this one. Yes, it's showing me an increase, but take a look. It's probably like roughly close to like 600. But from here to here, it's not really giving me that slope because we're saying for each car. This is still talking about for one car, we're getting about like 28. We're not in the 28s. Well, we are, but we didn't start off at less than 1,000. We started off with 2,200, okay? I'm going to tell you what that is in a second. So this graph, definitely not. So now, let's take a look at this graph. Remembering what we're at. Okay. That's a shiny graph. I know. So, starting at roughly 2,200. Let's see if I can give you the table again. Because I know it's kind of hard when it's in multiple pages. For me, I hate that. But on the actual test, it won't be multiple pages. And let me unzoom a bit. All right. Would this be our graph? Looks correct. Hey, General, how are you? Yes. So yes. Yes. So much. Yes. Okay. You're in enemy territory. No, you're not. You're in a place of joy. Okay. So we started off at 0 when they didn't have 0 cars. The monthly earning was 2,200. So at 0, we're at roughly 2,200. So when they sold 1 car, we're looking at 2,800. So here's 1, here's roughly 2,800. Plus, they're giving us this information down here. They're saying the slope of the line is 600, which we figured that out earlier when we looked at our table. So yes, it will be this lovely little graph here. All right. I know. Much better, right? Okay. How are we doing? All right. So let's do this. Before we get to the next one, there's like 703 of us here. I have 8.8K. Think about how you guys got here. All right. So I know for some of us that are just like, I wish I can stay, but I can't. Well, later on this evening, because it's going to take me some time, if you want, you can go here and you can type up and do a search for this, and you will see a playlist that says TikTok Lives. All of my TikTok Lives are there. Okay, every one of them since February 2nd, since I've been doing this. And if you want, if you can for me, do these 5 things. That would be awesome. And also, I am doing a subscription. So my subscription is a deep dive. So I am, right now, we're just doing slope. So I try to do a deep dive for GED, ASVAB, T's, Accuplacer, and I'm trying to do a pull-out session for your college algebra people, because I keep hearing, especially the people that haven't been in school forever, you're going back to class. Class is going mad fast. You don't know what your teacher is saying. You wish you had someone just to break it down a little bit simpler, and it's just not happening. You have gone to the student union, try to get a free tutor, and the tutor is looking at you like, what? You have problems with this? That's my biggest Achilles right there. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm coming here. I don't need insult to injury. So do a lot of those pullouts. Okay, so I'm starting my subscriptions so I can do like section only and do a deeper dive, more word problems, more give you opportunities to ask questions, maybe even go at a slower pace. Okay, so doing those things, stay on the lookout. If anything, I have 2 subscriptions. One of them also will give you discounts of my products because I have a course out here for all GED, ASVAB, Acuplacer, and all that. So if you want to do a course, and it's self-paced, and there are notebooks that I have and other resources. So that's why the other one is $9.99 a month. And the one that I'm doing for like the basics, but at the same time, more sources, more attention, that's what the $6.99 is. So you have all of this as resources. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and sometimes they don't know. Yes, sometimes they'll come up with some things and you're like, all right, well, how do I find slope? Dude, what? Right now, working on functions is driving you crazy. Okay, yep. So we can do something. Because I also do private and small group tutoring. So if there's a whole group of you guys, the oldies but goodies, and you're in a classroom full of, maybe teens, and you're just like, I have no idea, get yourselves together. I have group rates for you guys. As I mentioned, I have courses. And if anything, if you have any questions about any of these resources, please just go ahead and hit that Service Plus and just send me a message, okay? Or you can just do a direct message to me. Alrighty? All right. Because that's out of the way. Because I want you to be successful. I really do. Because I'm one of those type of people. I used to suck at math. Oh my God. Fractions? Nope. Word problems? Hell no. Terrible. And then all of a sudden, look at me. Now I'm a math teacher with a master's in teaching. Don't ask me how that happened. I really don't know. I really and truly don't know. But here we are. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's get going. So now we're going to find the slope using a table. This is what's called finding the slope numerically. Okay, let me put that up here because sometimes they'll throw those terminology your way and you're like, what is numerically? All right, what do you think my answer is? It is a special gift. I guess. Sometimes I wonder, but I don't question God. That's when I get in trouble. Things start happening when I do that. Not in a good way. Or it's just another test, as he loves to call it. All right, so Ryan, we got the triple B's. Okay, big, beautiful. Okay. Jess was saying C. Dreams was saying -3, which is B. Deb, D. Matilda, A. Definitely, Catherine. Missy saying D. Is that Fia? Or just short for Florida? Okay, yes, you can do that, but you don't even have to do all that. I'm going to tell you. It's short and sweet. Okay, saying B. Okay. We got an A. It's A, bruh. Mel, where have you been? Erica is saying A. All right. Now, let's take a look. Okay. Gary saying B 100%. All right. We can do rise over run. Okay. There's so many Mels. Oh, I got a couple more Mels. It's the bruh Mel. Mel always comes in here and tells me bruh. Now, if we recall slope, it's your difference of your y's over the difference of your x's. You don't have to do the calculations, right? You could if you want to. If you're in the classroom, do the calculations. But if you're just taking these standardized tests, remember, you're being timed. You ain't got time. what is the pattern of my y's? What's going on? We go from 10 to 4 to negative 2. What is the pattern of my y's? Okay, so 6, but just like with my friend from another, it is a negative 6. There you go. Make sure, because it's not going up by 6. We went from 10 to 4. Okay, that means you spent $6. Okay, you went from a 4 to a negative 2. You must have had a credit card because now you're down. You spent another $6. Okay, so the pattern of your y's is going down 6. So now let's take a look at the pattern of our x's. How do I go from negative 3 to negative 1? Okay, Papa is saying plus 2. Okay, we got not negative 2, but we're going up 2. So J Splat was saying plus 2. Matilda 2, yes. So we're increasing. When I go from a negative 3 to a negative 1, that means you owed me $3. Now you owe me $1. That tells me that you paid me $2. Thank you very much. Okay, so to go from negative 1 to a positive 1, so you owed me $1, but you paid me another $2. That means you gave me $1 extra. How sweet. All right. So you're looking at the pattern of your y's, which was a negative 6, and the pattern of your x's, which is a positive 2. So now let's divide. Negative 6 divided by positive 2, that gives me a negative 3. Okay. Once you see the different signage right away, C and D is out because both of them are positive. When the signs are different, your answer is always going to be negative with division. So then, if you know you were going to divide 6, obviously A is going to be out because you're making it smaller. That's why it's a negative 3. Okay. How did I get the second 2? So from negative 1 plus 2 will give me 1. Okay. You okay, Catherine? All right. Got it. Awesome. Okay. Sometimes I like to think of it as money. Okay, you owe me money. When you give me money, I'm happy. When you don't give me money, you add to my debt. We got a little problem here. All right, so let's get, I think we should be able to do maybe 3. I think we might be able to squeeze 3 more problems out. All right, what do we got? Find the slope. Think about what we did earlier. If I scroll down a little bit, I think it might be able to fit both of them here. So is it A, negative 2, B, 1, C, negative 1, or D, 2? Okay. I know, it's probably working. So Matilda B, day B, day 1B, J Splat. We got B, B, 2 over 2. Big red B, Papa, plus 2 for the Y's. Okay, we got B. Alba, same 1. Hottie, how are you? Welcome back. Same B, Tracy Bean with a B, tie 1. This time I swear it's B. Okay. I was like, I swear it's B. Okay, brown eyes B. Good job. I try. C, we got our B's. It's increasing. We got our D. Okay. Well, thank you for me trying a good job. All right. Greater Grace. Oh, are you Greater Grace from down the street? That would be. Okay. Not a problem. Okay. So let's take a look. The pattern of my Y's over the pattern of my X's. So going from negative 2 to 0. All right, you owed me $2. That must mean you paid me $2 for me to owe 0. All right, I thought we were cool. Then all of a sudden, one day, you just gave me another $2. That means I increased $2. All right, awesome. So very similar to what we had before. From -3 to -1, you owed me $3. When you pay me $2, that means you owe me $1. Then you have my -1. You pay me another $2. That means you gave me a bonus of $1. So if my slope is the change of y's over the change of x's, my y's was 2, my x's was 2. So that will give me my answer of 1, which is B. Nice. How do you get these people to pay you back? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. So right now, it's like a matter of trying to get a subscription. I mean, yeah, I could put my Cash App up there. I don't know. Jan, or you're late. Don't worry, Jan. Because here's the thing. Even if you came a little late, Jan, I still got you. Just give me some time. But I still got a little bit of time left. So we got, if you go to here, fill in here, and if you just do your subscription, this is free. All right. All my recordings are there. So people that are just coming in, okay. Yes. What? How did you fail the finals? What happened? Okay. Okay. So when they're not consistent, Aust, I think that's what I was saying, that's when you're definitely going to have to do finding your slope. My suggestion, I always take, if they give us like a long range, I take the lowest and then I take the highest, numbers. And then I actually do the slope to figure out the slope of that line. So like if it was like a whole sea of numbers, like if I stopped, say, if it started up here and it ended down here, I would take these two coordinates and these two coordinates and then actually use that change of y, change of x, the y2 minus y1, all that, and actually calculate it algebraically. That's how I would do it if it's not like this. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, let's try this one. 17. Sorry, it's getting all kinds of cray-cray. Whoop. Well, right now I'm working on slope. So welcome in. Okay, so we have our A's, we have our C's, we have our A's, we have our A's. Okay, J Splat saying that 1/5. We have some C's. We have Ann, Michael. Hey Michael, how are you? Okay, super nostalgic. I know, right? Can you smell the tater tots cooking in the background? If anyone did tater tots in their schools, I don't know. Okay, missed the steps. So we have our A's. We're guessing A. Okay. All right. So we have our C's. We have our C's. Okay, so we got A's and C's. So let's take a look. So I'm looking at my y values. So the pattern from -1 to 1. All right. So if I look at -1 to 1, that means you must have paid me $2. You were short $1. If you paid me $2, that means you overpaid me $1. So if I have my 1 and 3, I can go +2. Because 1 plus 2 will give me my 3. So the pattern of my y's is a +2. So if I go with my x's, not my x's, because they can go somewhere. But anyway, from -10 to 0. Ooh, that must have been a big loan. You owed me $10. In order for it to go to 0, that means you must have paid me my $10. Good job. And then, such a kind person that you are, it looks like from 0 to 10, that means you paid me another $10. Look at you. Big balling. All right. So now, to find our slope, it's the change of y's over the change of x's. So the pattern of my y's, we got 2. The pattern of my x's, we have 10. Now, 2/10, not even shown. But 2 is even, 10 is even. So that means to me, I need to simplify it by 2. So if I divide my numerator by 2 and my denominator by 2, I'm going to get 1 over 5. Okay. All right. So our answer is C. Yeah, and when you do the test, don't just go there like C, 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 C. No. And if there are students here, especially high school students, if there's any high school juniors, before you know it, October will be here. And it'll be time for you to take the PSAT. Your junior year PSAT, you need to take seriously. If you're thinking about going the college route, you have to take it seriously, because this is the year that colleges look to see what they can give you for like scholarships or give you for money. Okay, they look for things, because not only you don't just get like a regular scholarship, like there's a lot of other foundational scholarships within colleges. I know some of the schools have like Naviance, and you can actually see what additional funding they have, and they look at your junior year PSATs. Even if you don't get the National Merit Scholarship, but they still use their score to help you out financially. Okay, so that's coming up, and that's always the whole month of October. That depends on what district and what schools. So just ask your counselor, when's that coming up? And I think if you're mid to early October, you're going to notice a shift in your math classrooms, because they're going to start doing some PSAT prepping stuff if they haven't done so already. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. So. Okay. Well, this is really nice to tack yourself on, econ. Here's my thing. I know that there's a lot of people that does SAT exams and all that. And I see that you're here, which is fine. But at least ask before you start promoting on people's page. It's not a good look. Just saying. Keep it classy. Okay? Now, if you need help, hey, it'll be nice. But people would like to know who you are, because when you jump on other people's lives like this, it's not a good look. And people are not going to want to work with you. Just saying. All right. So, if we go with number 19, we got like possibly a couple more. So, number 19, skipped over a couple. Which of the following is the steepest slope? Okay. Which one's the steepest slope? Will your exes pay you back the $2? Nope. My exes will not pay a blessed thing. All right. Okay. So which of the following is the steepest? Is it -7? Is it 1/10? Is it 5? Is it 1? So I'm getting some A's. I got some C's. Okay. Mind-boggling. I know. Oh, I was like, oh, well, thank you for the gifts. Appreciate it. Can you tell just by guessing? You could. I can. So we got our A's. Okay. All right. Hey, Lynette. Yeah, we're still on for 3:30, correct? Okay, so you're going to say A then? All right, Carla. That's what I like. Stick to your guns, girl. Jenny's like E. There's no E. Take a guess. Okay. How we figured this out? Got you. All right, I got you. All right, so we got our rise over run. You're guessing? Okay. Now, the steepest slope is usually the slope that has a higher incline. So, 1/10, it's going to be wide, okay? The higher the number, the better it is. So your answer is A, and let me explain. Oh, thanks for the gift. So the reason why A is the steepest, a lot of you guys are thinking negative, and negative means small. When it comes to slope, the negative and the positive will tell you the direction. The number will tell you more so the steepness, how much of an incline it is. So the higher the number, the steeper the incline. So that's why A is going to be your answer. 1/10, it's like small, okay? 5, all right, that's an increase. 1, but 7 is an increase. Even although it's going negative, it's going to be a steep line. All right? It's even steeper than that. Okay? So the negative is going to tell you the direction. Okay? But the number itself is going to tell you how steep it is. Can I map it out? Yes, I can for tutoring. Because here's my thing. Because I still got to do a couple more. All right? So the higher the number, the steeper the slope. Negative will just tell you the direction. All right? Can I? No. I mean, I probably can, but not right now. All right, last one for the day. Then I'm going to wrap up. All right. So which of the following has the steepest slope? So we're doing it again. So a line containing -1, 2, and 4, and 102. Matt reads 27 books in 3 hours. We have our table, which contains 0, 5, 2, and 35, and 4, and 65. Or we have this lovely graph. Which is the steepest slope? You don't like graphs? It's okay. Why don't you like graphs? Because if you travel, you're always doing graphs. Even just you walking from your bedroom, let's say your bedroom's upstairs and you have to go down one flight of steps. That's a graph. Okay. Dewey is saying has to be A. Is that Michael? Saying A. Is it Arpana? Saying A. Moe saying A. I think that's an M. It's kind of hard to say. All right, so D and A has to be D. I don't know. Okay, quality could be D. Carla, I don't know. Thank you for your honesty. It's for the people that are saying I don't knows. Joe is saying A. Danielle's saying A because it's the highest number. Maybe D for Carla. I said it's the right. I say it's the right question. Okay. Definitely not D. Okay. I don't know. Thank you for your honesty. I say A, the highest number. All right, broker. Sabrina's saying C. Okay. Swad. Saying A. A because the difference between the set of points give you a M. Saying no. I'm going to say D higher, B A. Can I just guess? Sure, you can just guess. D, I think. Okay, Jenny. Jenny. All right, Alma's saying D. Okay. Hey, thanks, Lynette. Okay, Jess is saying D. Michael's saying A. Look at all those little tags on your name, Michael. Good gracious. Before you know it, all your labels are going to take over your name. You're going to have to like hyphenate. Okay. All right. You hate algebra? That's okay. All right. So let's take a look. So Matt reads 27 books in 3 hours. So if we do that, we have our 27 out of 3. So that means he's reading 9 books in 1 hour. Crazy. What kind of books are these? Here, we're looking at the process. How do I go from 5 to 35? I know I skipped A. I did it for a reason. Okay. So from 5 to 35 was plus 30. 35 to 65 was plus 30. Then I notice 0 to 2, we went plus 2. 2 to 4, we went plus 2. So that means the slope for this one, let me put it in a different color, is 30 divided by 2, which gives me 15. Now this one was a little hard to see because I know it's from a distance. Again, it is increasing. I can use my y-intercept if I want to. And I can use this point. I could use this point. I could use this point. Notice where it intersects. So from 20 to 10, so I'm going to go up 5, 10. So we went up 10 over 1. Okay, let me show it again. So I went up 5, 10 because they're counting. If you look at the y's, they're counting by 5s, not by 1s. So up one box is 5, another box is 10. But then my x's, I'm counting by 1s. So my rise is 10 and my run is 1. So in this case, my slope is 10. But then when you get to number 1, look at this lovely ordered pair. -1 and 2. Aw, cute. Kind of close together. And then all of a sudden, 4 to 102. 102? Whew. What are you, climbing a mountain? Okay. That, without even doing anything, that is my answer. Because this is going to be mad steep. Okay? Right? So, although you may do to find the slopes of all the other ones, but because of this one, I'm at -1 to 2, and if I want, I could do it algebraically. So let me put it down here so it gives me some room. Actually, I can put it up here. So if I want, I can do my y2, which is 102, minus my y1, which is 2, over my x2, which is 4, minus my x1, which is a -1. So like someone said, 102 minus 2, that will give you 100. And then 4 plus 1. Okay, when you minus a negative, it turns to a positive. So it'll be 4 plus 1, that gives us 5. So when we have 100 divided by 5, that gives us 20. I can put it down here. 20 over 1, which is simplified to give me a slope of 20. Okay, so that's how you will see it. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so we good? Okay. All right, so again, If you want to see the replays, kind of came here a little bit late because I got to skedaddle. You can go here. Boom. If you go here and you type in this, if you want to take a quick little screenshot, you can do so. All right. And if you can do those 5 things, that will be amazing. All right. That was rough. I know, but we're going to take it step by step. So remember, if you want, you can subscribe, and it's a monthly subscription, which, trust me, is a heck of a lot cheaper than my tutoring. Because tutoring, I normally charge at $92, but I do have a discounted rate for TikTok followers. So if anything, go with that. Yeah, and I do get it because I'm good at what I do. Now, if anything, if you want, like the private small group tutoring, we can do either or. If you want to get courses and you're just like, look, I think I'm going to need a really slow pace and I want to break concepts down, please pick the courses. Now you can go right here, which is in, where's my thing? So if you want to go here, it's boom. Okay, so it's usually like the first one that's there. Because I can't say it because I get dinged. All right, but I also have like notebooks available, which kind of give you some additional resources. I normally, because for some of these sessions, I just do pull out some questions. But I normally usually have like my math notebooks. And you'll see this, especially tonight. I'll be back on at 6 p.m. and Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to be working on fractions. So if that's something, especially adding, subtracting fractions, kind of going from a mixed number to an improper fraction, okay, vice versa. But I usually do a lot of my work in my notebooks. And in addition to the workbooks, I have like all these resources in the very back. So if you're not strong with figuring out your fractions or your factors, your GCFs, trying to break down square roots, this is what I have as a factor sheet from 1 to 200. I also have other resources in here to kind of help remind you what are the rules of integers. All of that is here in addition to multiplying and dividing. We have those integers. Somebody keeps yelling at me like, I don't know the integers. You have integers and you have the interval notation, the order of operations, and we have all of these resources, especially fractions operation. That's what we're going to be working on today, especially the addition and the subtraction. Then we have like the conversions of it. Then you have place values, the arithmetic and geometric sequence, the reminder of the mean, median, and modes. All of this is listed in the very back of my notebooks. I call it the Ultimate Math Notebook because most notebooks are not designed for math, okay? This one is, okay? Roughly 100 pages of instructional work. And not only do I have my regulars, but I also have one for my lefties. So there's not too many left-handed math notebooks out there. So talk about a rare commodity. You still get the same resources, but it's just designed for my lefties that are out there. Got to show some lefty love. All right. And all of my books are currently on sale for $10.29. They're normally $22.97. So for the month of September, you can actually go here, go ahead and do a screenshot. I'm going to take it away in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. So if you go here, you can order your books and it will arrive roughly in a month, not a month, Jesus, in a week. I was just saying, in the month of September, that's what the price is going to be. But if you're also a subscriber, that price will stay with you as one of my subscribers, especially the $9.99 one. So any type of book that I'll have, current books and future books, we will keep it at that price just by being a subscriber. All right. So, what was my focus for my master's? Okay, for my master's, it was the art of teaching with the focus of administrative And I don't know why, because I definitely did not ever want to be a principal or assistant principal. Because I don't know. That doesn't work for me. All right. So, and if you want to have copies of my notes, if you're just like, Audrey, can I just get these notes? Because that is amazing. I have what's called Audrey's Notes. Now, with Audrey's Notes, it's almost like Cornell Notes. What I do is you get a copy of all of my notes that I do here on TikTok. And what happens is you'll see that there's a QR code. So with the QR code, it will take you directly to the YouTube video that is in my, YT video that's in my channel. And it'll take you directly to it. So you don't have to go running around and searching for it. So for this one is dividing polynomials using that grid method. So if you want, you can watch me as I go through it step by step, just like how I do for my lives. But then also you get copies of the steps of it, and that goes for all of my stuff, okay? Even here when I was able to cut and paste some stuff and actually do the work in there, yep, you look at the QR code and it'll take you directly to that. So Audrey's Notes are also on sale at $10.29, okay? And again, you can find that here for at $10.29. All right. Okay. How often do I go live? Some people love to get the notes. Some people use it for mediation. Some people, I go live every day. Some people like it for mediation. Some people, especially homeschool parents, they're just like, I don't know. And I wish I know someone who did. And then they can always watch it. It's just there. Some people like it. So I go live every day. Okay, today you're lucky. You get me 3 times. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, one of my appointments canceled, so I was like, I'm just gonna go on here. Okay, but if you look on, I made a post today and I have to pin it with my updated schedule. So you'll see like which ones are going to be for subscriptions only and which ones will be for the free general public. Okay. All right. You're pretty bored. Okay. Yes, you're homeschool. All right. Awesome. All right. So wait, I missed something. What is the best resources for getting GED for someone that needs to go as far back as middle school? Now, my suggestion is not to say my course, but I'm going to say my course because it goes all the way back to the different types of numbers and it goes all the way up to probability and statistics. It also includes some geometry and it really covers everything that GED is. And the best thing about that, you can pause it, you can rewind. The way that I break the video down or break the concepts down in the video, there we go, is the same way that I would do here for the lives. So when it comes down to my videos, it's not 5 minutes, it's actually 20 minutes. So if there's something that you know, fast forward. If it's something that you need to listen to, pause it. If you want to practice some of the problems before I show how, pause the video, do it on a separate sheet of paper or in your math notebook. Shameless plug. And then unpause it, play, and then see if you got your answer correct. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like once you write your notes down in your notebook, you need to actually practice. So like say like this, I will write down this word problem on a separate sheet of paper. Let me just grab a separate sheet of paper, write out the word problem, okay, write out my stuff, take my notes, put it to the side, work out the problem on the paper, and once I'm done, that's when I bring the notes back. And all I do is a comparison to check of what I wrote compared to my notes. And if they're exactly the same, I'm doing really well. If they're not the same, what did I miss? What step did I miss? So those are the ways that you learn and you study with math. A lot of people don't do that. They just like, oh, I just wrote my notes down. Okay, it's in my brain. No, it's not. You got to practice when it comes to math. All right. Okay. Any other questions? These are lovely questions. On the second, you haven't received it yet? Let me double check on. Well, text message me, because I don't know if you want to put your real name out here. Message me or DM me your name, and I'll take a look for it. Because it would be so funny that all of a sudden it arrives like tomorrow. Oh, because we had a holiday too. Because wasn't the holiday the 8th? Yeah, anytime there's a holiday, it screws everything up. All right. Okay. Labor Day. Thank you. Always get all crazy. Just out of time. Yeah. Can you learn pre-calculus without knowing algebra? No. No. It's all sequential. It all builds on itself. That's the one thing about math. Like, once you learn it, it's not a one and done type of situation. Once you learn, you spiral back to it. Then you extend, then you spiral back to it. Then you extend and you spiral back to it. Yeah. So what time we come back on today? 6. And I do not teach statistics. I can take you to a point, and then that's it. And it's usually like after the first couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm good with standard deviation, finding the popular mean, and when I have mu, but that's it. After that, no. And I want you to pass, so I don't want to be like that. Here we go. Quarters and nickels. Okay. Yep, so tonight we'll actually be adding, subtracting fractions, and that will be at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Oh, and actually I'm going to be doing a duet with my friend Lynette at 3:30, which is about an hour and 12 minutes? Again, cat's in the way of my clock. Don't give me that sass. She's like, I will perch wherever I want to, because I own this. Craziness. Why do I own animals? Don't know. All right, so I'm going to wrap up. Again, if you need any assistance, some clarification, tutoring, even if you need a tutor for younger students, I do have friends that tutor as well that I can help out. If you're thinking about going into nursing, I know a few places where you should definitely follow a Blessed RN. And if you guys want to do more practice with GED when I'm not on, and maybe earlier in the afternoon, you can follow Impact Math 19. Okay, she's amazing as well as Mr. M. He's really good with his math skills. All right. Why? And then 7th grade math tutoring, definitely reach out. Just message me. Again, you can go to the and just fill out the contact form, and then I'll definitely get back to you. All right, de nada, sunshine, de nada. All right, so have a great day, and I'll see you at 6 o'clock, or maybe 3:30. It's a fun thing at 3:30. I'm not going to be teaching math, so I'm just going to let you know that right here now. All right, but it's going to be fun. Come, join in. Get to know my crazy butt. All right, bye now.